Hi, I'm Tori, and today I am going to be going over my 2021 book calendar. This is the calendar I use to keep track of all the books I read in the year 2021. So this year my calendar was The Curious World of Katrine Wells Stein, and I thought it was like fun, kind of like artsy, weird stuff, so I really liked that. January's picture was this fun kind of Victorian style woman riding a hummingbird and feeding it a flower. And then you can see I read a decent amount. I'd kind of read a book and finish it pretty consistently. I was rereading some Tamara Pierce novels, and then I was reading The Witcher, and then I started reading romance novels towards the end of the month. And that kind of kicked off my romance novel phase for the whole rest of the year. February had this really cool hands holding a heart motif. And then I continued with my romance novel reading trend. So I would just read a book and I'd read it for a couple of days and then I'd pretty much be done with it. I think this whole month was dedicated just to the books of Annabeth Albert. The picture from March was the cover of the calendar with the woman with birds flying around her hair and like her arms coming apart somehow. And then book-wise, I was finishing up my Annabeth Albert run. I think I read every single book of hers that my library had. And then I started experimenting with different books. So expanding a little bit, and you can see as I experimented with different books, there were more I didn't like. So it took me longer to finish them, and the number of books I was reading built up. April has this really cool picture of a woman with kind of a castle growing out of her. I just thought that was really fun. And then here I was just kind of switching it up, picking different authors. I pretty much read a book and finished it, though I still had quite a few continuing on that I'd sort of read here and there. May was this really fun fairy kind of sitting in this big domed building with all these pretty lights twinkling around. And I had finished up or just stopped reading several of the books that I was not enjoying. And so here I was just kind of reading a book and finishing it. You can see there were some days I was barely reading more than one book at a time. June is this really pretty breezy picture of a girl blowing a dandelion in the wind and the magic fluffing out of it. And then this month I branched out and read a couple of books that were not romance novels and kind of built up a little bit more of a list of different books I was reading all at once so that by the end of the month I was reading quite a few different books all at the same time. July's picture is this fun equestrian woman jumping through a ring of fire on her horse. And this was not a particularly busy reading month for me. I read a few books but didn't run through them like crazy. August is this really fun kind of magical portrait of a woman sitting in a lake. And then here I kind of took a break from romance novels and read a bunch of other books. I started another book in the Wheel of Time series, which I'm still very slowly trying to finish. And you can see I was reading, I didn't really finish any books, but I started several. September has this very dapper gentleman with the mustache made of trees. And then you can see I started the month off finishing a lot of the books I had started the previous month. And so I only started a few new books this month. October is this kind of creepy bird who could potentially eat this guy if he falls. And then I was sort of picking up the pace on books again, where I just kind of pick one up and read it really quickly and then finish it really quickly. November is this very elegant kind of Swan Lake looking scene of a woman and a swan, or a woman who is a swan. And I was finishing quite a few books here. This month I'd just read a book and finish it. My list of books I was currently reading got pretty short. And then December is this fun, very festive young woman with her little umbrella. And you can see December, I finished books and hardly started any new ones, so I did not do much reading through the middle of the month, and then toward the end of the month, I went on a little bit of a book reading kick. So that was my year in books. It was kind of a different year for me. I read mostly romance novels. I read a lot of them really quickly. If you want more details on that, you can see my book statistics video. But it was a fun reading year.